Plain curiosity, a demand for justice, a yearning for the truth drew spectators, protesters and families of the fallen to the hearing. This has been billed as the most thorough examination of the Iraq War yet, and Rose Gentle wanted her place inside. She still isn't sure why her son was sent to war. He died in Iraq, and she wants answers.
I've got to know everything. I've got to know every question that's been asked and every answer. To say I've lost my son, and I think we've got the right to know, because if we don't get these answers, I don't think families will really settle down and want to know why. We've got to know why.
Her son and the other 178 British personnel killed in the conflict were acknowledged in silence at the outset.
Thank you.
A reminder, if one were needed, of just why the evidence which will emerge here is so important. The inquiry chairman has promised thoroughness and honesty, but there are limits to what this inquiry can do.
No one's on trial here. We cannot determine guilt or innocence. Only courts can do that. But I make a commitment here that once we get to our final report, we will not shy away from making criticisms, either of institutions or processes or individuals, where they are truly warranted.
And so began the process of getting inside the minds of those who paved the way to war, inside the mindset of a government. Was regime change the desire here or in America?
In February 2001, we were aware of these drumbeats from Washington, and internally when we discussed it, our policy was to stay away from that end of the spectrum. We didn't think Saddam was a good thing, and it'd be great if he went, but we didn't have an explicit policy for trying to get rid of him.
The claim that elements in the Bush administration were pushing to overthrow Saddam a full 2 years before the war began has the potential to be hugely damaging. But these officials working at the heart of government in 2001 insist the threat from weapons of mass destruction provided the motivation here for war, especially after 9/11.
It was clear from the late autumn, I suppose, from late November, that Iraq was being considered in a different light in the light of the 9/11 attack.
That consensus amongst officials about Britain's reasons for war will come as a relief to Tony Blair, who has yet to face his own interrogation here. But will it do anything to appease the sceptics, the conspiracy theorists, or those who've spent years wondering if they will ever really hear the truth?
I think there's still wee bits of cover-up type of thing that will still come out, and there was lack of communication. There was papers that the high ranks didn't show, so I think there's still a lot going to come out in this.
Sir John Chilcot insists witnesses will not be able to pull the wool over his eyes, such as the massive documentary evidence already gathered. And whilst he has promised to expose any wrongdoing, ultimately he has no powers to punish. So whatever the verdict, it could still end up feeling like unfinished business.